Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this is one of my favorite things, favorite movies growing up as a child. I think I watched this movie on VHS tapes. I don't know, before the age of 11, I must have watched it like 20, 25 times. I love this movie. As you can see from the title, I'm talking about Pinocchio, which is the second uh, in the Disney movies, Disney animated movies. This was just the second one that they made. It is from 1940, and nostalgically, I love this movie. It is absolutely something that kind of hits here. To be honest, it is the just the second Disney animated feature after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That's another one that I really love from my childhood. But we're talking about Pinocchio. Um, so basically, Pinocchio is this a wooden puppet created by the Italian woodcarver Geppetto, who really wants to have a son. He wishes that he could be a real boy, and there's a blue fairy godmother. She comes and gives him life and tells if he proves himself to be brave, truthful, and unselfish, he will eventually become a real boy. This is witnessed by Jiminy Cricket, who is basically a cricket, who happens to who's a wanderer and happens to come and settles down in the same home over there. Nobody else knows about him, by the way. But he is there, and he witnesses. He becomes Pinocchio's conscious and tries to guide him in the right manner. Of course, Geppetto is delighted with things to have a real boy. Sends him to school, but unfortunately, these two are they two cats, by the way? Cats or like wolf or fox or something like that. Honest John and an anthropomorphic red fox, and Gideon, who is a cat, I guess. So they basically lead him down the wrong way. He goes and joins this, along with a boy named Lambkin. They become friends. They go take a vacation on, well, not a vacation, but yeah, a trip to Pleasure Island, where they drink beer and they play pool and all those kind of things, roughhousing basically, chew tobacco and smoke cigars and all of that stuff. And after that, the island has got this curse kind of thing, and they become donkeys because they're making jackasses out of themselves, and they're made to work under this person. What's his name? Stromboli, I guess. No. Whatever. But yeah, so I can remember actually being a little scared when I see them turning into donkeys, especially the lambkin, because he starts screaming in pain and he's frightened, of course. And of course, Pinocchio also partially converts, and then they, because they're smoking and drinking and all that stuff, they Pinocchio and Jimmy go to try and get back to Geppetto's workshop. Basically, Jimmy comes to rescue him, and then they go to the workshop. They find that they through a dove who's sent by the fairy, that Geppetto has gone to look for Pinocchio, and he's taken Figaro the cat and Cleo the goldfish, and while they were on the sea, trying to get to Pleasure Island, they were swallowed by Monstro, a terrible sperm whale, and they're now inside the belly of the whale, catching fish that he swallows and then tries to kill them. They manage to get in. Pinocchio is also swallowed by Monstro. They go to rescue his father and the cat and the goldfish, and then they devise a scheme to make through fire basically, make Monstro sneeze, and they are spat out. Unfortunately, their raft smashes onto the shore, and Pinocchio is severely killed. It's a very sad scene to actually see them. So Geppetto, Jiminy, Figaro, and Cleo, they are mourning the loss of Pinocchio. However, he has succeeded in proving himself to be brave, truthful, and unselfish at that point, and he is revived by the fairy godmother, fairy, the blue fairy, the beautiful blue fairy, and turns him into a real boy. He is complete, no donkey stuff attached to him, and everybody's happy there. They're laughing, they're happy. Jimmy goes outside just to give thanks to the fairy, and he's rewarded by his clothes are become prim and proper, and he gets a gold star, a badge basically, making him an official conscious. So that's the movie, of course. Beautiful movie. I know it's an Italian folklore kind of thing or something like that, but I love this movie, man. I don't care how old I'm going to be, how old I ever be, I will never stop loving movies like this, because it reminds me of better days, reminds me of innocence, to be honest, and I love this movie. It is nostalgically beautiful. So, main characters, you've got Pinocchio, who's absolutely endearing puppet, later becomes a real boy. Jiminy Cricket, played by Cliff Edwards, the voice by Cliff Edwards rather. And he also does a little bit narration of the story as well. They've got Geppetto, the dad, the woodcarver who wanted a son. Figaro is the spoiled kind of like pet cat who's sulky and little. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't really like Cleo, but Cleo loves him, of course, and tends to give him a kiss. And you've got Honest John, you've got Stromboli, and you've got the Blue Fairy, you've got Lambkin, and of course Monstro. And that's basically the movie. Here's a funny thing. You're gonna really laugh at this. I once dreamt that I was on a spaceship, kind of like Star Trek, but a much smaller spaceship, kind of like a big house, and I'm going to rescue my girlfriend, or rather the object of my affections, who is, whose ship and crew are in trouble. I think her family is in trouble or something, or she's in trouble, basically, and I'm going to rescue her with my crew, who are all cartoon characters. I swear, I had this dream once, many years ago, and one of the crew members of my, or rather I should say two of the crew members of my, ship were Cleo in her bowl, and Figaro, who is one of my cat. But I also had Tom and Jerry as well in it, and a couple of other. Droopy was there. I remember that. So that's another famous character. And I had Lola Bunny and Bugs Bunny as well in it, and a couple of some of other stuff. Right? That's I had to recall. I remember writing it down somewhere because it was so funny to see all the cartoon characters in my brain. And I woke up and I was laughing throughout the morning, brushing my teeth, drinking my cup of coffee, and having breakfast. But that's for another day to tell you guys what's. But what can you give this movie, man? 10 out of 10? Yes. 10 out of 10. Super. I'll be doing more Disney movies like I wanted to do them, so I'll be coming up pretty soon. So take care, guys. Good night.